Few days ago, I watched Killers of the Flower Moon by Martin Scorsese, and the film took me on a journey through a range of intense emotions. As in common while watching movies, it can be challenging to fully comprehend what you are feeling in the moment because you are still in the midst of the experience. It's only after the film concludes that you may begin to process and articulate those complex emotions. In the end, the movie left me feeling disturbed, adding another layer to the mix of emotions I had experienced throughout. After finishing the film, I had a strong sense that I had just witnessed something profoundly significant, something that needed to be discussed in my next video. Despite this awareness, I found myself grappling with the complexity of my emotions. I knew I had just witnessed something important but couldn't quite grasp what it was. The impact on the filmmaker and human within me was palpable, and this sensation wasn't entirely new. I had a similar experience while watching The Irishman. I aspire to become a filmmaker because I believe that movies constitute a language of their own, a medium through which filmmakers artfully communicate complex thoughts and emotions in a remarkably simple way. It's this belief that led me to recognize that Martin Scorsese, through his film, has communicated something profound that deeply resonated with me, even though I haven't fully grasped its meaning. So I watched the film again and delved into the interviews of Martin Scorsese to understand the source of the turmoil that's going inside me. And the process of understanding the source became the process of creating this video, which has been a valuable journey of learning for me. I have discovered so much along the way, and I am eager to share those insights with you. Being said that, let's start our video essay. Killers of the Flower Moon is a movie based on a book by David Gran, which is a true story that happened in the early 20th century in United States. The Osage people who lived in Oklahoma discovered oil on their land, making them incredibly wealthy. However, as they became rich, a series of pay attention to this adjective, mysterious murders started to occur among the Osage community. The book focuses on the investigation led by the newly formed Bureau of Investigation to uncover the truth behind these murders. The story delves into corruption, conspiracy, and the exploitation of the Osage people for their oil wealth. It sheds light on a dark chapter in American history, revealing the challenges faced by the Osage as they struggle to protect their newfound prosperity. Martin Scorsese first encountered this story through the book written by David Gran. He revealed that he wasn't aware of the tragedy before reading Gran's work. Subsequently, Scorsese received this script, which initially presented the narrative from the FBI's perspective. In this version, Leonardo DiCaprio was set to play the main FBI officer, Tom White. However, as Martin Scorsese became more involved in the process and engaged with the Osage people, he realized that presenting the story solely from the FBI's perspective would turn it into a mere murder mystery, which would just become a source of entertainment. That's the reason initially I emphasized on the adjective mysterious while providing the context of the film. Martin Scorsese sensed that Osage people's real narrative had already shrouded in the perspective of mystery and being overshadowed by the tale of formation of the FBI. While the FBI did get involved and apprehended the murderers, but they managed to evade justice through various means. Ernest was the only one who served a substantial jail sentence.
As you say, Byron there was a hung jury, he didn't go to jail. The Schoen brothers went to practice in Colorado Springs for the rest of their lives. They were fine. Bill Hale was released on good behavior through the Truman administration.
This concern is highlighted by Scorsese's deliberate choice to end the film with a theater telling the story of Osage Murders.
And all of these that the FBI became G-men, and they became theater. They became theater, and theater went right to the public, entertainment, radio shows. They actually had radio shows on the Osage Murders, and I have the scripts. And I said, well, this is it. We have to end it as, in a sense, the tragedy becomes theater.
Beside, there is also this intriguing aspect that piqued Martin Scorsese's curiosity was the existence of friendship between some Osage individuals and white people. Even after the series of murders, he wondered about the nature of this connection and what underlying factors allowed such relationship to endure amidst the tragic history of the Osage. So these different aspects raised a crucial question: where is the heart of the story? Presenting it solely from the FBI's perspective, as initially considered, wouldn't do justice to the tragedy. It risks missing the essence of the narrative, failing to capture its true gist, and ultimately misses the point of the story. Now, from this I have learned something important. As mentioned previously in the video, that I believe movies serve as a powerful visual language capable of conveying complex emotions and ideas in a simple manner. However, to effectively communicate these ideas as a filmmaker, one must have a clear understanding of those. That's why questioning becomes a valuable tool in this process. When presented with a story, it is essential to ask questions such as, what's the point of the story? To unfold different layers that delves into its true essence and reveals the heart of the narrative. In this case, the process of questioning led them to a profound realization that the heart of the Osage murder tragedy lies in the trust the Osage community showed in the outside world, only to be betrayed. It transcends a mere investigation into who killed whom and why. Instead, it unveils a sensitive tale of love, trust, and betrayal. Up to this point, Martin Scorsese recognized that presenting the story from the FBI's perspective wouldn't do justice to the impact of betrayal experienced by Osage. To truly capture the sensitivity of these emotions, he understood the necessity of narrating the story from the Osage perspective, not merely as victims but as people, as humans, to delve into their worldview and values, providing a nuanced portrayal that quantifies the profound impact these murders had on the Osage community. Hence, the pivotal question emerges: how to present the story in a way that captures the profound impact of these murders on the Osage. It was at this point that the relationship between Molly and Ernest clicked in their mind. To give you the context, Molly was a full-blooded Osage and was married to Ernest Burkhardt. Ernest, alongside his uncle King Hell, orchestrated the murders of Molly's siblings in order to gain access to her wealth. Martin Scorsese made the decision to center the story around Ernest and Molly after learning from the Osage that the two were in fact in love. Considering Ernest's involvement in the killings of Molly's family, this revelation added a fascinating layer to the narrative. Scorsese believed that by exploring the twisted and complex love story of Ernest and Molly, he could effectively capture the essential themes of love, trust, and betrayal embedded in this tragic tale. Because in a way, their relationship serves as a metaphor for the Osage people's connection with the outside world. Molly genuinely loved and trusted Ernest, and he also had those feelings. However, despite this love, Ernest inflicted unbearable pain by orchestrating the murders of Molly's family and attempting to kill her for her money. Still, even after Ernest's arrest, Molly refused to believe his involvement until his courtroom confession, a heartbreaking realization that shattered her trust in the person she loved, providing a glimpse of a stark betrayal of the trust Osage showed on the outside world. Essentially, Martin Scorsese employed the characters of Molly and Ernest as a lens through which he revealed the true nature of the tragedy. Through the character of Ernest, the film vividly portrays the brutality inflicted on the Osage by the outside world. In a poignant scene, Byron informs Ernest that it's time to take Anna home, symbolizing her impending death. Then Ernest sends Anna home with Byron, using the excuse of being too drunk to escort her himself. In this moment, both Ernest and the audience comprehend that Molly is witnessing her sister for the last time. While the character of Ernest represents the brutality inflicted on the Osage, Molly, on the other hand, symbolizes the pain of the tragedy. During the court hearing, Kelsey Morrison, the one responsible for killing Anna, describes the gruesome act, and the film juxtaposes it with a scene showing Molly's heartbreaking actions. After the murder, Byron goes to Molly's house, and the movie depicts Molly offering him a pillow for a comfortable night's sleep before she herself retires to her own bed. This poignant moment encapsulates the agony and shock that Molly must have been experiencing internally. Knowing her fate, upon revisiting the film, the most poignant and numbing aspect was Molly's this dialogue.
I had a dream.
Oh, yeah?
We went to Colorado Springs. You told me all your secrets, and I held them in a box for you. Then we went to the river and dumped them all away. We were happy there.
This scene encapsulates the true nature of the tragedy, illustrating that Molly simply desired a normal life. However, what she received instead was heartbreaking. This poignant moment shows that Molly, like the Osage people, just wanted a life.
This other, we never prayed for the great life. We just prayed for life. That's what I'm going to be praying for now, is that we get that life for these kids coming.
Well, for filmmakers, the significant lesson here is that characters can serve as a lens that allows the exploration of various facets of society and human relations. We have covered the narrative choices and why the story is presented from the Osage perspective. Now let's briefly explore the filmmaking tools such as violence, cinematography, and specific scenes that contribute to the emotional impact of the film. Just for the perspective, so there is an ongoing debate in India about the portrayal of violence in films, sparked by the recent release of the commercially successful Hindi film Animal, known for its explicit violence. Interestingly, Killers of the Flower Moon is even more intense in terms of violence, yet there is a key distinction. Martin Scorsese doesn't glorify violence, instead, he uses it as a tool to horrify the audience. Here the takeaway for aspiring filmmakers is view violence as a narrative tool, either to delve into character psychology or to create impact by depicting its harrowing consequences. In one of the opening sequences of Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese presents a horrifying montage depicting the Osage killings. The filmmaker captures the brutality by initially showcasing the Osage people in their normal lives with their families, only to reveal their tragic deaths. As the montage progresses, the imagery becomes increasingly graphic, culminating in the killing of a 21-year-old girl staged as a suicide. In this poignant scene, Scorsese juxtaposes the innocence of the victim's child to provoke the audience's contemplation of the morality and methods of violence. In a particular scene, we witness Ernest giving the order to blow up Rita and Bill Smith's house. Later that night, the film presents the aftermath with Rita's lifeless body after the house explosion, including a graphic shot of her brain. Once more, this raises questions about the morality of the characters and induces a disturbance in the viewer's mind. Beyond the violence, the cinematography significantly contributes to building intensity in the film. Notably, the movie employs intense shot compositions, including several scenes with point-of-view shots. For instance, during Anna's death, the film provides a POV shot of Molly approaching her coffin, with other characters directly staring at the camera. Another powerful instance is when Molly's mother sees the eagle, or the chilling moment when Ernest enters a room and everyone stops chatting, fixing their gaze on him. Besides, there are those signature scenes that immediately evoke the essence of a Martin Scorsese film. Personally, when I think of Scorsese, an image from The Irishman comes to my mind. In this particular scene, Frank, portrayed by Robert De Niro, watches the news broadcast of a gangster's assassination whom he had killed the night before. The camera then shifts to his daughter standing in the doorway, observing him in silence after hearing the news. It's a memorable moment that encapsulates the distinct atmosphere often found in Scorsese's film. Killers of the Flower Moon also features such scenes that intricately capture the emotional dynamics and repercussions on relationships due to the characters' actions. For instance, when Ernest first visits King Hell's house, Hell praises the Osage people, calling them the finest, most beautiful people on the God's earth. The scene then transitions to a heart-wrenching moment where an Osage boy is slowly dying from poison. Another impactful moment occurs when Hale informs Ernest that Molly is a full-blooded Osage, and he subtly hints that Ernest should pay her a visit. This revelation prompts a rapid change in Ernest's demeanor. The subsequent scene, where they travel together in a car, vividly captures this transformation. Pay attention to the way Molly looks at him and the way he looks at her. These subtle glances, exchange between Molly and Ernest, speaks volumes about the complexities explored in the film and its subject matter. In the process of creating this video, the most crucial lesson I have learned as a filmmaker is the importance of taking responsibility and approaching the craft with sensitivity. This realization became clear when I recall a video on YouTube where Martin Scorsese discussed Satyajit Ray and emphasized the significance of cultural representation in films. At the point, I didn't fully grasp why Scorsese was stressing on the importance of culture. However, after watching Killers of the Flower Moon, understanding the emotions conveyed and listening to his interviews, I now appreciate why acknowledging and showcasing culture in filmmaking is a vital aspect. This realization dawned on me, especially after hearing criticisms from Indians about the 2009 film Slumdog Millionaire by Danny Boyle. The critique focused on the issue of the white gaze, arguing that the film presented a perspective shaped by a white man's view of India. Even though I am not white, this case made me acutely aware of the need for sensitivity when narrating the stories of individuals from diverse backgrounds, respecting their unique way of life and perspectives. In conclusion, Killers of the Flower Moon, directed by Martin Scorsese, stands as a powerful exploration of the Osage Murders and the profound impact on the community. The film goes beyond a mere investigative narrative and delves into the intricate relationships, the trust betrayed, and the cultural nuances of the Osage people. Scorsese's decision to present the story from the Osage perspective rather than the FBI's allows for a more nuanced understanding of the tragedy. The film employs various cinematic tools, including intense cinematography and poignant scenes, to evoke emotions and communicate the complex layers of the narrative. It also serves as a reminder of the responsibility filmmakers carry when portraying cultures and the need for sensibility in storytelling, as highlighted by the criticism surrounding films like Slumdog Millionaire. Through its impactful storytelling, Killers of the Flower Moon serves as a testament to the potential of cinema as a medium to convey not just stories but also the intricate fabric of human emotions and societal complexities. So after all the I will just say that I hope you like the video and I'm grateful that you are still watching it. It means a lot. Well, thanks again and have a nice day.